I'm meteorologist Peter Chan at the National Weather Service for Alaska statewide weather on this Tuesday, September 16th. Well, as we head through tonight, a strong, compact area of low pressure is going to lift from the North Pacific into the eastern Gulf, and this low will have storm force winds around it and a frontal system that's going to be pushing up along the Panhandle coastline. And as a result, we have high wind warnings in effect for the outer Panhandle coast from Prince of Wales Island all the way up to Cape Fairweather. Southeast winds sustained on the order of 20-30 knots with gusts up to 50 knots, which is equivalent to 60 miles an hour, will be possible as we go through tonight and into the day on Wednesday. Also, there will be some moderate to locally heavy rain work its way along the outer Gulf Coast up to around Yakutat as we go through early Wednesday morning through Wednesday evening. And as a result of these stronger winds and some moderate to locally heavier rainfall, it's not impossible there could be an isolated landslide. But nevertheless, this is one in a series of wet and windy systems that'll impact the Gulf Coast and especially Panhandle now through early next week. And yesterday we had flood warnings for the Mendenhall Lake and River for a second release of the Glacial Lake outburst flood. Fortunately, that warning has long since expired. The second release is complete now, and that basin has completely drained. Fortunately, it did not get up into moderate flood stage. It stopped right around 9.5 feet, so that's about 2 feet lower than what was forecast. So now this is we get the big Glacial Lake outburst flood that's been happening now the last few years in August, and then we often see a secondary release in the early fall, but it is not nearly of the magnitude of the recent record floods we've had in the last few years. So the Gulf Coast and especially Panhandle is going to see active weather here. The rest of the state, relatively quiet early fall weather. Don't forget, the fall equinox comes up next week, Monday, September 22nd at 10:19 a.m., Alaska Daylight Time. And it looks like overall, more of the same weather will continue across much of the mainland through the weekend. For Alaska statewide